to that French election right now. Voters are heading to the polls on Sunday to pick the next president there. It's between a far-right candidate, Marine Le Pen, and centrist candidate, Emmanuel Macron. To the Daily Mail columnist, Katie Hopkins, who's live from Westminster. All right, Katie, you know how to look at this thing. You knew about Brexit more, How's it looking to you, really, this race?
It's looking like it's going to be a really angry race. It seems that Macron is still in the lead. He's around 60, polling around 65% against Marine Le Pen. But this is not a home run for him at all. You have the far-left candidate, Mélenchon. He received about 20% of the vote in the first round. As you'll appreciate, there's 2 rounds to this thing. His voters are saying, well, we're not going to vote for either of these candidates. We won't vote for Macron because he's the big banker guy, and we won't vote for Marine Le Pen because she's all about the country, and that's not good enough. So there's loads of people who are going to be abstaining. I can see Macron winning this thing, but there's going to be so much anger, so much resentment, exactly like the picture here in the UK, where it's London versus the rest of the UK. Same in America. If Trump hadn't won, that anger about the people who feel no one's listening, and that's really the jobless workers in France. France has an unemployment rate of 10%. Those people support Marine Le Pen. If Macron gets in, the little boy who was a banker, has always been a banker or a politician, and is married to someone who's the same age as his nan, there is going to be rage on the streets. And I'm going to go over to Paris on Sunday to catch up with a little bit of that.
Well, and to your point also, apparently there are a lot of contradictions with Macron, but some are saying he might have had a deplorables moment. Apparently he just called Le Pen's voters hateful cowards. So he certainly wears his disdain for the working class on his sleeve, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And after his first round victory, he went to this exceedingly posh restaurant. He surrounded himself with the kind of liberal elite, the establishment figures that you would expect, the sorts of people we can't stand as Brexiteers or as Trump supporters. And he said, well, why would I care what the little people say? He has that arrogance about him. He is arrogant by nature, and that is not going to go down well. I think we had the live debate the other night that I was watching, and Marine Le Pen came out with a brilliant line. She said, no matter what happens on Sunday, a woman is going to be in charge of France, whether that's me, Marine, or whether that's Angela Merkel. And he is seen as kind of a lapdog to Angela Merkel. There's pictures of him sat at her feet, gazing up at her like the new kind of grandma figure in his life. He's really got something there's quite an Oedipus complex with that guy. Yeah,
and some could argue that his wife, who is about, I guess, almost 30 years older than him, is some form of a Svengali, pulling all the strings, and he's not doing any of the thinking on his own. Katie, I do also want to ask you about ISIS, reportedly telling jihadists to put ads on sites like Craigslist and eBay saying something like apartments for rent so they can lure victims to their homes.
Absolutely. So ISIS are now, another way of very low maintenance, low level infiltration of Western society in particular. They're saying, advertisers, if you've got an apartment for rent or put some goods on eBay, say it's cash only, say it's collection only, make sure someone's very comfortable when they get to your place, and then you can attack. So it's very specific advice. They're saying about the apartment that you hire and try and trick people there to attack them. Maybe you could say, students only, ideal for students. It's very specific advice, and it's all about, spreading fear. It's not that they're going to take out a mass number of casualties. It's that you spread fear, because as a mother, you start to fear for your children if they're out on their own. You fear for students. What about if you advertise and that person isn't exactly what they think they are? It's spreading fear, and it's very powerful, and it works. And I would bear in mind, if I may, very quickly, we're not even into Ramadan yet. And at Ramadan, as you will appreciate, there is usually a spike in violence because it's a time for jihad. So there is a sense of growing fear, certainly here in London and certainly in other major European cities.
Yeah, they're diabolically cunning, that's for sure. Katie, thank you very much. We always appreciate it.